Okay, I have Josh Augustine on the show now, who's going to be meeting Thomas Thatcher tomorrow at Shamrock FC 335. Josh, how are you?
Good. How about yourself, man? Thank you for having me on.
Hey, I'm good, and it's my pleasure. I'm happy to have you on, especially so close to the fight. Normally, I don't interview fighters the day before the fight because they're too busy cutting weight. So, just tell me that whole dynamic. What has this weight cut been like for you?
Yeah, so I'm moving up to 155 pounds. So that was going to be a new challenge for me, seeing how my body reacted to the new weight class and just having different amount of muscle mass on. And then Monday, uh, the promoter hit me up and asked me if we could do 165. He said Thomas Thatcher had COVID last week, so I was cool with giving him the extra 10 pounds because I'm walking around a little bit over 180 these days. So, just makes it a little easier for fight week.
Yeah, no doubt. It's so. I mean, I got to imagine if you're walking around at 180 these days, you were a pretty big featherweight anyway. So, how do you feel that size is going to translate when you make this move to lightweight?
I think I'm gonna be a really, really fast lightweight. I'm gonna be a really strong lightweight. Now that I put more muscle mass on, I've been training with some guys in the UFC and LFA and stuff like that, and I know I'm gonna be really strong, really fast, and I still have that height advantage at 6'1", and having really long arms, 75-inch reach. So I'm excited. I'm not really sure. That's why I'm excited about this whole thing. I'm excited to witness it all myself. I forced myself, killed myself to get down to 45 in the past, and I've made a lot of adjustments since my hip surgery in May, and since then I've just seen my whole body change. So 155 is the deepest, most fun weight class there is, anyways. So just looking at that as a challenge in itself, it's all just really exciting to me.
Yeah, for sure. And you're not going to have to cut that much weight anymore, which has got to be a nice thing. You said like you've almost killed yourself making it to 145 in the past. Has there been like one weight cut where you were just like, oh my God, this just can't fly anymore. I have to move up.
No, not necessarily. I took 18 months off since my last fight. Um, but they were really, really tough weight cuts where I knew I was going to have to move up. But even now, 155 is really difficult for me because I put on like 25 pounds of muscle. So, um, yeah, I don't know. It's just different
Sure. Well,
because
this is
having
my
having more muscle, you can cut a little more.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I totally understand that. Tell me a little bit about, just your camp. You were mentioning training with UFC fighters and guys in LFA. This is my first time interviewing you, so tell me a little bit more about your day to day and who your partners are.
Yeah, I train at St. Charles MMA. So my main partners are like Lucas Clay, um, LFA guy, Elmar. He's fighting tonight on LFA. Jeremiah Kurtwright. I'm trying not to leave him be out. CJ Hunter. I train with like Olympian Sammy Henson. He's a wrestling coach, or he's my wrestling coach. His son Jackson. Um, my, we have some really good up and coming strikers as well, as far as like Harrison McCormick and his brothers as well. And then our head coach Mike Rogers. I did like a lot of training with Dakota Bush. I've trained out at Elevation like 4 years ago as well, so I got a lot of like, I got a lot of looks out there. Um, but I was very green as well, so um, I just kind of know how I stack up.
Sure. Well, it sounds like you got a bunch of killers around you. And this event is going to be in St. Charles. So I'd imagine that you're going to have some other teammates on the card and just really just a lot of support in general. Is that accurate?
Yeah, only one teammate on the card actually, but I have, I think I sold like 100 tickets. It's gonna be a really good time. A lot of people from my hometown are gonna be there. My family, my friends. Um, there's a lot of weight being carried into this fight. My dad passed in November, and it's just like me and Thomas were supposed to fight December 4th, and he died on November 11th, and so my family's just been like super supportive, and it's been a tough journey just to get back to the cage from my last fight, going through surgeries and injuries and stuff like that. Um, just to get back to that point, and then for that to happen during camp 3 weeks out, like it was really crazy. So now for this all to be here the day before, um, you know, it's amazing to feel all of their support as like just as crazy as this journey's been. But it all is coming full circle because I've worked my fucking ass off for this, and this isn't the Super Bowl for me. I think this is a great kickoff to a really active year, and I'm ready to go after the top guys.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I'm very sorry to hear about your father's passing. I unfortunately lost my father not too long ago myself, so I totally understand the pain of going through that. How has
But
that?
yeah,
I appreciate it. How has that affected, I guess, your ability to like stay focused and stay in camp? Because I know for me, my mind was always thinking about him, and you just have a lot of sorrow that you carry around with you. Has it been difficult for you just to kind of to stay dialed in and do everything you need to do?
my dad and I, he loved this. He loved fighting for me, and he's the one who really pushed for me to do this, and he wanted me to do this for a living. And he always was one of the only people that really saw my potential at the beginning. And so I know that he would want me to do it. So whenever he died, I told everyone like, no, I'm still fighting on the fourth. Like, I'm going to do this because I know he would want me to. And that's what I was pushing for. But then, the promoters all worked with me, and my coaches were kind of like, no, let's push it back. And so I sort of went with it, and we did January 22nd, just because I had to take like 10 days off out of the gym. And the grieving is one thing, like like you said, like it's obviously horrible, but I was his next of kin. My dad wasn't married, and he didn't have any other kids, so I had to take care of the funeral, um fucking planning out literally everything. So that was all super tough. Sorry, you gotta get a drink.
Sure.
Parched, shitty day, dehydrated. um so yeah, that was what was toughest for me. And then once they moved it back, I was obviously just super grateful. And it wasn't hard for me to like really hone it back in, just because like I said, like this was our thing, like, and I know how to do this shit. Like this is what I do best. Truly, like this is what I do best. I don't do anything better than fighting and like planning out a camp and like doing this shit perfect. Now, like the team that I have around me, I have such a good balance around me, man. Like I'm so grateful. I'm really, really grateful.
Do you expect, tomorrow night when you're making your walk to the cage, or even prior to that, that you might have a little bit of more emotions than normal, having this fight, first fight after your dad had passed?
I'm ready to fuck this dude. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah, yeah, go right ahead.
I'm ready to fuck this dude up. Like am, I feel like a fucking machine right now, and I'm ready to run through him. But the second that that's done, I definitely like, man, it'd be hard. I feel like I keep envisioning that I'm gonna be like fired up, like, oh yeah, I killed him. I'm a monster. But like, I think it's gonna be hard to probably hold it together after that. Because man, like I said, me and my dad were just so close about this. Like I can remember my last amateur fight. Um, I had taken off like 6 or 8 months or something like that. And I I was just so nervous for this fight for whatever reason. I was so scared, and I was going down to Arkansas, and my dad wasn't going to go. I was just going to go with some teammates, and I just like came to him the night before I was supposed to leave, and I was just like, "Dad, will you please go with me? I'm so nervous." Like he sorry, I'm sorry. I never told this story. I'm getting a little choked up. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Dad, you come with me?" And he rode with me. He got his own hotel room, and I actually ended up staying with him in his room. And like, the promotion didn't pay for that. Obviously, it was like this shitty little promotion in Arkansas, and so we basically paid for my last amateur fight. And I went down there and I smoked this kid, schooled his ass, and it reminded me like how good I am at this shit. and how hard I work and everything does pay off. And yeah, that was I just never really thought about that. It's just so crazy. And then yeah, we rode back, and I just never really thought about that until now. But it's gonna be a good one.
You'll have more and more memories that will come into your mind as the days and the months pass. And again, man, I'm really sorry. It's a rugged thing to go through. Change the subject, so change it to be a little bit more upbeat and talk about your fight. I did want to just discuss your career to this date right now. You're 4-2 as a pro. Like how pleased are you with just where you're at right now, and what did you learn from those couple of losses that you had? I know your most recent one was at Titan FC 62.
Yeah, so if I told my like 25-year-old self at like where I had started my beginning of my career, I'd be 4-2. I'd be like, oh, that's disgusting. Like that's terrible, because I anticipated being 7, 8, 9, 10-0, going straight to a title shot at the UFC. Like I had a really crisp, clear idea in my mind coming off of that fight that I was actually just telling you about, because I have a really high skill set. But I didn't take the smartest fights. Those two losses were stupid fights to take. And it was because I was overconfident, arrogant, and I took them at 150 pounds, outside of my weight class. And they were just huge learning experiences, honestly, but they were so humbling and exactly what I needed to be this person here today, because, I just would have thought I was going to run through everyone before. Now I'm well aware that even Thomas Thatcher tomorrow night can break my fucking jaw. He can break my leg. Bad shit can happen to me, but I'm not gonna allow that. I've been working my ass off every single day, and I'm crystal clear right now. My game is on point. I'm ready to dismantle him, and I feel 100% prepared to go through whatever I need to, but I don't see him having the abilities to hurt me or anything like that. I'm looking forward to running through him.
So when you envision your career here moving forward, like if I could give you like a little genie and they could grant every wish that you'd want, like how do you forecast your next steps? I mean, I talk to a lot of fighters in your position, and they always talk about, if I can get on Contender Series or the Ultimate Fighter or something like that, I can get into the UFC. And I have to imagine that's probably the end goal, right? Because that's the biggest promotion in the world. What do you envision here moving forward for your career?
Um, I mean, I think I have the abilities to be the best fighter in the world. Uh, I'm not too worried about if it's UFC, Bellator, PFL, whoever. I think I'll end up in the UFC at some point in the next like 5, 10 years for sure. Because it'll be undeniable. But I'm okay with going through Bellator, PFL, and all that. I want to rack some belts up. Um, I really believe in myself, and I think that this year especially is going to be a huge breakout year for me. I don't know how that will come, and I don't try to think about that too much, because I used to like overthink, overanalyze, and put too much thought into that. Now I just focus on the day to day, this practice, what like this interview, and I'm just trying to, get through this weight cut in this fight. And I know the opportunities are going to come after this.
All right, sounds good. So tomorrow night after your fight, there's a big UFC event. Are you going to watch that at all? I know the heavyweight title is the main event. You got the flyweight title in the co-main event. Is that something you're looking forward to?
If it's still on, I'll watch it. I'm just looking forward to a burger, a KO and a burger. Um, but I don't know. I guess the heavyweight fight's pretty exciting. I think Moreno is gonna beat Figueiredo handily again. But the Gon fight is interesting because of his movement and stuff. But man, Francis's power, I don't know. Those extra 30, 40 pounds, I just feel like Francis is gonna win. But no, I'm not tripping. That's not like a crazy pay-per-view, honestly. I don't think.
Yeah,
How do you feel about
I'm going with Francis. I think Francis is going to come forward, cut off angles, and when he does clip them, I mean, all it takes is one to stun someone when you have that much power. And I just think there's a little bad blood there between the two of them, and I think Francis has a point to prove. I mean, Gon was talking about how they used to train together and God would get the better of them. Well, if you're going to be a good training partner and your game is built on power, KO power at that, you're not going to go out there and try and KO your
Just
training partner.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah, no, 100%. That's hilarious.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. What if he just Rosenstrucks him? He just runs forward and just fucking 10 seconds. Like I could see that.
yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I'll definitely be watching with bated breath. But let's talk about your event here tomorrow night. Shamrock FC is a huge promotion, man. And, regionally, they're one of the best in the business. How excited are you for this event tomorrow night?
Super excited. I mean, we were trying to get together in October and do something, but it didn't work out just because of negotiations, and I just really needed to fight. So that's how we ended up locking down December. Obviously, that got pushed back, and then we got bumped up to main event, and I kind of figured I'd be main event anyways, just kind of like where I'm at and just like my skill set and stuff and how many tickets I sell. But I guess, there's other people as well. But I think it's a good kickoff for them and me. They can get, they get to know me and see I'm all business, see, my skill set. They can get acquainted with me, but they seem to do business amazing. Like they've taken care of me from day one, and they've been handling everything as good as a Titan or LFA or any better. I mean, just as good as, if not better than everyone.
And your opponent Thomas Thatcher, he's 2-4. So this is one of those fights where I feel like it's got to be kind of a little bit tricky for someone in your shoes, because you're probably a heavy favorite and you're expected to not just go and win, but to maybe look dominant out there, right? Do you feel that pressure when you face someone that doesn't have a record like similar to yours?
No, I don't care. These next couple fights will be building fights for me. In boxing, that's what they do. And that's what this is turning into. And that's what I got to do. It's just a part of my job. And I'm not thinking about any of that shit. I know that stuff's going on in other people's minds, but I'm trying to focus on the P's and Q's whenever I step in there. I'm focused on how to react to this, how to react to that. This is how I do mine. And that's how I'm going to put Thomas away.
All right. So
Being Chris, being Josh Augustine.
give me your official prediction. How does it end?
First round TKO.
All right, man. I love it. Goes down tomorrow, January 22nd, St. Charles, Missouri, Shamrock FC 335, Josh Augustine and Thomas Thatcher. Really great talking to you for the first time, my man. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media. If you have anyone to thank, any sponsors, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. At Augie MMA on Instagram is where you'll find me. I've been putting together some good content, so please make sure you get on there and follow me. My sponsors are Total Roofing St. Louis, Two Car Guys here in St. Louis, and Imposed Will. And I just want to thank you for having me on as well, man.